Hello, welcome back to Jonathan Investigates Women's Football. Today we have a very special guest. We have a player with us on the show today. Molly, this is the first time I've actually met you, and we've got a camera in front of your face already. But thank you for joining me. How's your day been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. I've been at work, been a busy day, and then got training after this. So yeah, busy day.
Excellent, yeah. And blame Dave Healy for nominating yourself. Why do you think Dave nominated you? What is it about you that's put you in front of the camera tonight?
I think experience within the game to start with, but he also knows I just love a natter. I chew his ear off most weeks, so that's probably why.
Fantastic. So, your Redditch Borough team currently doing very well this season. Still in two cups, breaking records in the FA Cup, going for promotion as well. That will be back-to-back promotions. How do you think the club's going this season?
Yeah, it's going really well. I think, we never set the expectation of coming up into tier five and going for back-to-back promotions. It's a difficult job
Yeah.
to do. But it was more just about establishing ourselves in the league. And I think we surprised ourselves as well as surprising others. So yeah, we're very excited for the back end of the season now.
Sounds great. Yeah, it's very promising. It's very enjoyable to watch that race as well. It's definitely a very, very tight race. When Aid became manager in the summer, Daisy Clements was already here, and there's a lot of experience already here that was league winners.
Yeah.
But he also brought in a load more players with him as well, and there was a real good vibe last summer. Did you kind of immediately see, hang on, we got something special going on here, or did it take a few weeks and a few results? When did you kind of realise that, hang about, we're in a good position here?
I mean, luckily I knew these players before they come in, so I knew kind of what they're about. I've had previous experience playing against them, so I know about their quality already,
Yeah.
as well as aids. But yeah, I think after a couple of weeks into pre-season, that's when you could really start building, and it's just continued since then.
For you, the success started last season. Obviously, you joined the season before Aid. You got promoted, Pips Crusaders, to the title. I think there was just 1 point in it.
Yeah.
Um, you played 21 games last season, so no one played any more than yourself. Tell me about the impact that you feel that you made on that team, and also just the joy throughout the whole season of actually getting promoted in your first season.
Yeah, I think I've been in the game a long time. I've played. I took a step down to play at this club. But for me, it was about bringing experience, more knowledge, game management to the club. So yeah, I think that definitely helped. But I'm also a player that's got a lot of passion. I love to win. I'm competitive. So bringing that motivation factor to kind of the team around me as well. But overall, it was an incredible year. Absolutely incredible. I still think about it to this day. The emotion that went with it, highs and lows at times. But yeah, incredible year that I won't forget.
I remember halfway through April, you won your nearest rivals, Crusaders. I think it was something like 4 or 5-0. You then backed it up with 2 wins after then. So the league was won before the actual final day of the season, which was good because Crusaders won that last game and you lost. When do you think that at what point do you think that you actually won that league, or you felt like you was in the driving seat?
To be completely honest, before the Crusaders game, it was for me personally. I can't speak for the rest of the group, but I think it was against our local rivals, Redditch United. They
Yeah.
were holding us to a 0-0 up until about the 84th minute. And then we ended up finishing the game 2-0. And I think at that point in time, I think belief was then in it. So that for me was when I really started to believe we were going to win the league.
Yeah, and to win Crusaders so emphatically as well, that kind of just like kind of put the nail in the coffin, I suppose. It's for, well, they might not want to say that, but of course, to win your nearest rivals there,
Yeah.
that was massive, isn't it? Yeah. And also there are quite a few good players that played in tier six that you could argue are tier five players, and I'll just name a couple for someone like mate, I know Katie Box from the old days, obviously the goalkeeper. I know Catherine Pagan. There's a few. I'm sure you can name the whole team because you won the league. What is it you think about that team that actually made them win the league? Was it the experience? Was it the desire? Was it a good season all round? What do you think it was?
I think it was a mixture of everything. I think it was the kind of core group that were already here. They'd already built themselves up to being in that position, and they were challenging the year before. So it's full credit to those players.
Yeah.
And what helps is then bringing the experience in. Like you say, Katie Box, KP, as we know her, myself, Maisie, that kind of gets you over the line essentially. But from the very offset, we had the mentality when we first all joined as a group of this is the expectation, and it's nothing less.
Any standout moments of last season?
I think 2 derby wins is always going to be a standout
Yeah.
moment in the club.
Yeah.
Cup final day
Mm.
was a really good standout moment as well for us.
Yeah.
Just trying to think what else. I don't know. We had some really emphatic wins, but I would have to say, yeah, the away game against Redditch United.
That's understandable, absolutely. Of course, many people know you as a Kidderminster Harriers player as well. You spent many years there. How many years were you there?
7 in total.
That's quite a long time, isn't it? Yeah. I'm going to put a photo up on screen now. It's a photo that you showed me a little bit earlier. What does that photo represent to you? What did that mean to you? Because there's a lot of celebrations in that photograph.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of my close friends around me. I think next to me is Layla, Hart, Maisie, who I still currently play with now. So two of my closest friends.
Mhm.
It's emotion. I think that was my 6th county cup win at that point in time. And the first one as captain. So
Okay.
it was a privilege to lift that cup, especially in front of my family. My dad, he's my biggest inspiration in the game. So to lift that in front of him, and the likes of obviously Dave being with me at the time. So yeah, happy memories.
I can imagine, yeah, absolutely. Slightly before that photograph, I think it might have been in 2019-ish. I've seen another photo of you guys celebrating at Kiddie Harriers, and I think it was where you won the league, the cup, made the first round proper of the FA Cup, and come runners up in the league.
Yeah.
Was that like one of your biggest achievements up until that point?
Probably. There was many achievements during my 7 years there, but that was a very good season, followed by the 22-23. They were probably my 2 favourite seasons that I played there.
I think it was February 2024, roughly, that you left Kiddie.
Yeah.
And am I right in thinking that you didn't join Redditch Borough until the following season?
Yeah, correct.
What were the emotions? Because obviously spending 7 years at the club, I'm sure it must have been quite emotional time for you.
Yeah, it was very emotional. It wasn't a quick decision. I just recovering from a second really bad injury. I tore my shoulder ligament year before. I fractured my skull and my neck. And I was just at a very down place. I'm always quite honest about kind of mental health in the game is really important. And I just wasn't myself. I didn't love the game anymore, and I needed a bit of time out. I didn't know what life was without football. Needed some time with my family. They are the most important people to me. So just decided to just take a step away, reevaluate, decide whether I wanted to continue playing football because I didn't know life without it. And yeah, 6 months later, joined the Borough.
I was going to say, so what made you choose Redditch Borough at that point? Because I'm sure you must have had a few options, and also to find a team after 7 years, it can be, especially when you've had happiness at your previous team, it's not an easy decision to make, is it?
No, not at all. And to be completely honest, I don't think I would have made a decision again. Kiddie has a very special place in my heart. Ultimately, I'm a fan. It's my hometown. I'm still very connected within the club. I've got male friends there that play for the first team. Still go up every Saturday. So to make a decision to come to a different club was hard, but one man in particular, he's actually sat at the back of this room. But Dave, he's a manager that I've got the utmost respect for. He's my favourite manager that I've ever played underneath. So he was the main reason. I had a phone call randomly one day and just said, "This is the club that I'm going to. Would you like to come?" So yeah, that was the start of the decision. It wasn't the final, but it was definitely the start of was Dave himself.
So now we know why Dave's put you in charge as a video. So you can mention that. No, that's great news, and I never knew that, but that's definitely nice to hear. Yeah. I think if you follow women's football in the Birmingham and Worcestershire area, you will know the name Molly Maguire. I think it's quite a well-known name. Obviously, you've been around for quite a while. You've lifted trophies as well. Have you ever considered being a National League player, and what were your decisions to not be one?
I think I have had options. I've had offers. Dave himself offered me twice when he was at Moors, and I turned him down twice, which he will never let me forget. And yeah, I've had offers from other clubs, especially when I left Kiddie. I had a few options come in. For me, loyalty is a big thing for me, and playing for my hometown club was always a big thing for me. Yeah. So that was the reason why I stayed there. But yeah, definitely had options, and hopefully at some point in the future we'll be playing there.
You mentioned a little earlier about mental health and being away from the game. I speak to a lot of players and even players' parents now who, when they're getting ready to retire or when they get to a certain age, they start thinking about what am I going to do after I become a player, because they dedicate so much of their time, whether it be training or following their daughters just to football as well. Sundays are a massive part of your life for 10, 15 years. Obviously, you're not at that stage yet, but are you at all thinking about, okay, are you building plans now about what do I want to do when I'm not playing football?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I've got a couple more years left in me yet, but yeah, definitely thinking about it. I was actually having a conversation with the chairman here literally a couple of weekends ago about it. I want to do my badges.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if actually I want to go into coaching, but I'd like to have the option.
Yeah.
I think the other side that really interests me is welfare. Being a captain, that's the kind of thing I love. I love being around the group of players, looking after
Mhm.
them. So potentially welfare.
That's good to know. It's good to hear as well. Absolutely. It's certainly something that I think we spoke about a hell of a lot on this channel. So it's good to see that you're following those kind of footsteps as well. And finally, if you can recommend that I speak to one other person, someone that you know, so I could hear their kind of not life story as such, but at least their footballing journey, who would you recommend that I ask?
Oh, there's a few. I'm going to actually say one of my ex-teammates.
Okay.
I played with her at Kiddie for a long time. She was at Wolves previous to that, but Danny Selms. She's
Okay.
at Crusaders now. So
Yeah.
yeah, Danny Selms would be my
There
recommendation.
we go. Okay. I might have to reach out for that one. Then, absolutely.
She's going to kill me for that.
Thank you very much for joining me
Thank
today
you.
here at Redditch Borough. I know you got some training to do now, so best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you very much.
No
Cheers.